Guys, so I am back today. I'm going to show you guys a vacuum that I found on the clearance aisle, well, in the clearance aisle from Walmart. This is the Kenmore Intuition. There's been several renditions of this vacuum cleaner in its short time being on the market. And unfortunately, there's pros and cons to doing this video because it was on clearance, so obviously they're discontinuing them at Walmart, probably because it wasn't a big successful run for their store. You can find them at Target in a blue color, you can find them in a red color, you can find them in like an emerald green. This is more of like the amethyst purple color. There are some limitations to the Target and Walmart models. They don't have LED headlights. As far as I know, the Target one doesn't. I'm only saying that. I'm 99% sure, but there's always the possibility, and I'm sure somebody in the comments will say, yes, they do. So the one thing I do like about this one is it's not like the solid flat color. It does have like a sheen to it, almost like a pearlescent color. And the other thing is I was excited that Kenmore might have been able to do more and bring some more technology to their market by offering something like this, a competitor, plus it was bagged, so it wasn't like some Hoover, what'd they come up with? The Hoover Floor Sense models. What were they called? I can't think off the top of my head, and I owned one for a little while. It might come back to me, but it's not a big deal. They offered something similar to this, and I think that the bag thing was a smart move. This one comes with 4 bags in the box, and you also get an upholstery tool, which it looks pretty wide, and you get like a combination tool, which I hate combo tools. I don't think anybody can use them the way that they're designed. They don't really take the place. I would rather have tools that I didn't have to store or that I couldn't store on board than having a combo tool. It does say it weighs less than 14 pounds. Allergen seal certification. None of these pictures on the box make it look like... There are some spots that make it look like there's an LED. They even give you like the height of the machine, the amount of amps, the depth, like the width, the cord length, all things that really Shark never puts on their boxes, nor does Dyson. I just thought that was a little interesting. There's also like this LED gauge that shows you the bag fill level. So I think that that's kind of neat. Let's start opening this up. And just to show you guys, it was 70 bucks. Marked down from $199, but it wasn't a direct markdown. It started out at $199, but I saw this thing for $130 for a little while. My concern about this vacuum is what's going to happen when Kenmore made one machine like this, that this is the only machine that takes these style bags. So how are you going to find bags for this? That would be my only concern. Another problem with doing reviews like this on machines that are being clearanced out is they're probably not going to be available. And the unboxing thing, it's nice for people who are like looking into purchasing the machine. But if it's a clearance vacuum and they're discontinuing them, it almost becomes entertainment rather than informative of a review. So if you see this video, and I posted it recently, try and snatch one up. Go to Walmart. There are some stores that probably haven't started clearancing this thing yet. I know my Walmart that I bought this from actually didn't start clearancing these until recently, but the one up the road had these 3 or 4 months ago in the clearance aisle for 130 bucks. So now these are almost 50% off of that. So you get like a nice thick instruction booklet. Back to the review. And for me, these types of machines with the lift-off pod, I would prefer it to be a powered lift-away or a powered sort of design. You do get a quick start guide, nice and large, so you can read it. It looks like right at the top is your cleaner head which is nice that it's easily accessible. It doesn't rest the whole weight of the vacuum cleaner on this dainty piece. It does have like some cheaper plastics, but it feels relatively solid. I do like, just, I haven't even seen the bottom, but I can feel it. There's a very nice strip of fluffy material that runs right along the rear of the brush roll. And I think it's because the brush roll does not stop on this vacuum. It slows down, but don't quote me. We'll find out. It does look like there are LED lights, but I can see them, but I don't know if they will turn on. Which would be really crummy. Like, you can see them inside, like right there. You can see the LEDs. So let's see if they actually run. That'd be really stupid if they put them on the vacuum but didn't wire it because you bought the cheap model. Like, that'd be so dumb. They already put the money into it. So the bristles are very stiff, much stiffer than a shark. This is your wand, the hose. Here's the hose. Handle's nice and comfortable. It's got like a silicone grip. You've got a suction control here on the side of the vacuum, which is nice and resistive of you trying to slide it, which I like. That doesn't mean it's going to flop open. The hose feels nice and slinky. It is one of those that stretches and twists at the same time, probably to stretch as much as possible before, but yet can recoil into a smaller size. That's still stuck in there. The 3-in-1 tool. Yep, nice wide upholstery tool. Just so you guys get an idea. You know. Getting towards the bottom, there's not a lot left. Here's the pod of the machine. It is very nice and lightweight. Can tell right off the bat. Very light. We'll just pop this right onto the base of the vacuum now. There. It does have a cheaper sound to it than a shark does. But again, you know, this isn't a shark, so we will see what it brings to the table. But I do feel like some of the buttons are a little cheap. They don't have the click sound for like the reassurance that it's locked into place as much as some other competitors that they're obviously competing with. Your wand that says Kenmore right up it. I guess this has got to go in like that. Wand clicked into place very quietly. And then on the back of the machine, you have a inlet, which is of course going to be where the hose connects. That one had a nice click to it, but how often are you going to disconnect that? And then the top here connects just like that. I didn't even need the quick start guide. Look at that. So I'm going to put all this stuff back in the box, probably switch the view of the camera, give some initial first impressions, and then we'll take it for a spin. I'm really hoping that these LED lights work because that was the biggest thing I was reading in some of the reviews when this first came to Walmart, was that it demonstrates and shows on the box that there's LED headlights. Not that it claims it does, but in the picture it did. So we'll see if they actually turn on. I have a feeling they won't work. Okay, so first impressions of this vacuum. The proportions are very comparable to the shark. I do wish that the handle was a little bit thicker on this vacuum. It does seem kind of skinny, something that would come off of a stick vacuum. I'm going to try and not compare this directly to the shark because, like I stated earlier, these are probably going to be discontinued. Shark rules the market in vacuum cleaners, not even in this design, but they have really just taken over control. Not to mention, this is one model that, yes, they make it in 4 different colors. They probably have different model numbers, but Shark makes all of their vacuum cleaners very similar to this design, whereas Kenmore has made one vacuum like this. So take that into consideration. Um, it does have swivel steering. It is lightweight, like they claim. It does weigh a little bit less than a Shark, I can already tell, but I do think that that is due to materials. So take that with a grain of salt. Durability wise, of course, nobody's going to be able to tell you how long this is going to hold up compared to Sharks, because this has really been only on the market for about a year now. Um, One thing that I will notice, or that I will mention, is that I noticed, just to turn it on quickly, just to make sure it powered on for the video, between me doing the face to face and then coming to this angle of the camera, it is quiet. It does sound like it has a strong motor, and it does have a lot of airflow. You can hear it. My original Kenmore Intuition that they came out with years ago had something called an inducer motor in it, and the inducer motor was very powerful. I believe this might have a similar motor in it, but I'm not quite sure. That motor was a Panasonic design, and Panasonic no longer makes the Kenmore products. They're made by a company called Cleva. So why don't we get this thing on the road? I did notice that the headlights don't work, at least in the upright position, so I have a feeling that they're just not going to work at all. But who knows? Maybe we'll find out that the power really works with this machine when it's reclined or when the brush roll is turned on. I don't know if the brush roll turns off in reclined position or not, so, or in the upright position. So let's give it a go. Okay. Couple things right off the bat that I've noticed, and they're not necessarily good. So, if you notice there in the beginning, I kind of hesitated when I was starting to vacuum because I didn't think that the brush roll was running. It was running, it's just not audible. You can't hear it running. It doesn't sound like it's running. It does groom the carpet moderately well, but it doesn't really dig. It kind of sweeps the top of the carpet. Everybody's opinion with agitation and brush roll action and what it's supposed to do or what they prefer it to do is going to be vastly different from mine. But so far, you can already see how much hair has wound around the brush roll down here. I don't think that it spins fast enough. You can't really tell that it's running. Part of the problem is the vacuum itself has so much airflow that that's really what you hear. You can hear it at the cleaner head, you can hear it in the hose. It has plenty of power, and I think that if Shark made vacuums with this motor, but quieted the vacuum down because it is a little, it's not bad at first when you first turn it on, but you do start to hear that whine in the background because it's a single stage motor. Um, but overall, when I have more recent purchases like the Shark Navigator swivel that I have, I think that that performs better. It cleans better. It's more pleasant to use. It's quieter. I do like the swivel steering on this vacuum. I feel like it is more precise and it's easier to use, probably because there's more weight at the bottom. So it doesn't feel like you're swinging the vacuum at, like, kind of swaying it side to side. You're actually rotating it, compared to some of my other vacuums. But I don't think that I am going to keep this. I actually know pretty quickly when I first try a vacuum cleaner out if it's worth keeping or isn't. And our house is not very large as it is, and there's no need to keep a vacuum that really isn't that impressive in my house when it's not going to be something that I reach for. It's not going to be something that I am wowed over and I enjoy to use. So this one, unfortunately, is going to go back to Walmart and I'm going to get a refund. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, drop a comment. I'll try and answer them the best of my ability, but there won't be any more additional videos of this vacuum cleaner because it's not going to be here any longer. So if I can't answer your question because it happens to be like a demonstration or something that I didn't see on the vacuum with my very limited time of having it, I apologize in advance. So thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.